Hey everybody, and thanks for tuning into the AFV factory. So another little catch up on the trumpeter Geschützwagen. I've been quite busy with it over the last sort of 10 days, I think it was, since the last last video. So I thought I'd let you know what I've been up to. Back on talking about sink marks again. I'd sanded these down, filled them and sanded them down to a point where I could no longer determine if they needed any more work or not. That was due to the fact that the plastic was grey and the filler was white, and all you could see was grey, white, and nothing much else. So I sprayed the whole lot with just with a grey primer, and that then made all the discrepancies in the filling show up, and you could see what needed some work doing. I'm using Vallejo plastic putty. You know, plenty of other types are available, but I get on all right with that, so I stick to it. What you now come up with this is, because the filler is, even when it's dry and it's sandable, it is still softer than the plastic. It's easy to during the sanding process cut into the filler, and obviously then again these show up. So at this point I need to be as careful as possible in removing these filler marks. What I've done this time round was I mixed it with some water just to thin it down, the idea being that it would flow more easily into the areas that needed attention. So I'll just have a little go over on one of these and gently see what we get. I mean, I shall probably have to spray over them again to see clearly. I mean, I was pretty close. I was quite reasonably happy the first time round, but you know, this has to be as good as I can get it, really, because of the fact that these are visible. So this is the finest sanding stick that I've got. I've got some better ones that are wider, better grit, that would be more suitable, but this is the best one I have in these thin sticks. So it's gonna take a bit of time, and you have to keep cleaning the stick off so it doesn't clog. One reason being, obviously, if it's clogged up, then it's not going to sand as well. And also, again, where they clog, there's a higher chance of it not sanding as nicely. And I can already see that this is, you know, if you can see this, let me dust that off. I don't know whether you'll be able to see this or not, but where the sanding stick's going over the styrene, it's removing the primer, but actually the plastic underneath is still quite smooth. It's sanding nicely. Where the filler is, I mean, obviously it still needs work, but I could already see, I can actually still feel it a little bit, areas again that might need more attention. So depending on your levels of patience, and not levels of ability, that's completely wrong word to use, but how much time and effort you're going to be prepared to put into this kit or any kit like it. I mean, this kit especially, because it's just it's ejector pin marks as far as the eye can see. So that being said, you know, I've not losing interest or motivation with this kit. It's one of the ones I wanted to do, I think, ever since it was released. I wanted to build one of these, and the main reason that sort of stopped me was, during that time it was the cost. I couldn't really justify, you know, 70, 80 pound on a kit. But they've come down in value, or down in price, I should say, not value. So I was able to get this one for, I forget now, but around about 40, I think. So it was a good deal, and I couldn't pass it up. So you don't really want to watch me sanding for a long time, but you can start to get an idea if you see that where the filler is, there's also almost a halo around it of plastic, so the sanding stick is running across the filler and sort of then diving down into the plastic around the outside, which obviously says that this is still high. But so yeah, more work, but not a problem really. And with as I'm sort of, everything is test fitted, so it does actually go together pretty well really. I was a bit concerned about how these side armor panels would go on. It's not going to stay there, is it? Oh, yes, it is. There we go. But it actually locks in together pretty well. Of course, it's not going to lock into place pretty well now, is it, when I'm trying to do it? But it does. Take my word for it. They go into the sides there. I'm under pressure here a bit, that's why. My concern was how well they would line up with the front armour plate, but they do. So that was one concern that I've got rid of. The other thing that I've mentioned, I believe, is sink marks along the side here. What I did, I've already filled them once with sprue goo and sanded that right the way back, and then this is the second go over. And the joy with this, and it's very different to filler. It's making me wonder, and is it a lesson learned that I should have used it on the ejector pin marks? But such is life, and these things are learned, aren't they? But this sands down like plastic really, because that's exactly what it is. Once it's dried, it's as hard as the plastic that it's attached to. And then with a better sanding stick than the little white one, it sands it away really nicely. So yeah, so you can see already that's starting to disappear, and it's you're left with dark areas where the sprue goo is darker than the plastic, which is an excellent guide because you can see where you need to go to keep working on it, even though it looks and feels like it might be fully filled. If you've got those dark shadows there, then that suggests that it's not. I'm using a 400 grit sander there, and then I will work down to probably an 800, which is plenty smooth enough to still take the last remnants off, but give you a really nice smooth finish. So yeah, that will be fully addressed in time for the next video. And the other thing, I don't want to keep this, it's not too bad the length of this video at the moment, is the barrel, which I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go, this barrel. It's plastic, sometimes you win, sometimes you don't with these things. Again, something that shows its age, being that it was two-part. If this was a modern kit, this would be slide molded, and you wouldn't have the issue with seams, which I started working on, and until I realised that you won't be able to see it, or maybe you will actually, but this barrel isn't straight. I tried to the best of my abilities, but I think the problem was the tolerances were too great, so it wasn't a nice snug fit to begin with in the first place. You know, I could be just looking for things to blame other than myself, but in the end it's no good. It's not going to be useful or usable on this kit. So I've got a metal barrel coming, so that'll be nice. It'll be a nice added feature. Otherwise, this kit is always going well. I've built the gun cradle, and with regard to putting this kit together, I know there's filling and bits and pieces, but overall it's not a bad kit to build. It predates, I think, our the way things are now, where kits or manufacturers seem to be in competition with each other to produce a kit with the most amount of parts, and suddenly you're adding on tiny bolt heads and little bits and pieces, and for me personally, I think a lot of the time it's gone way too far. There are companies out there that can produce kits with molded on detail, which is it's more than sufficient. It's fine. I know people like doing these kits with lots of little bits and packets of photo etch, and maybe I'm showing my age a little bit, but it doesn't really appeal to me, to be honest. So from that perspective, this kit has been really nice, because it's I've had pleasant times building it, and it's gone together with a small amount of work in the parts count. Just something I thought I'd add in. I do I do have difficulty when it comes to kits with lots of parts, trying to stay motivated with it, but that's obviously just my personal opinion. So we're actually not that far away from looking at spraying. Obviously I can do the wheels now, I could start on the tracks, essentially I could start on parts of this as well, certainly underneath. So it won't be too long now, and I will be breaking out some paint and starting on that. I'm still not 100% what I'm going to do with these things. Sometimes with painting, I just I don't know what I'm going to do, and I just sit down and I pick a colour out of the paints, or pick a paint manufacturer that I sort of know I'm going to have easy spraying with, and then pick up one of their colours. It's not going to be too outlandish, because that would be inaccurate, but I'm looking down the route of doing another wintry camo. I've done a few of them now and I do enjoy them, so I might do that, but we'll see. So I shall stop rambling now, and appreciate you tuning in, and I will catch up with you very soon. Cheers.